Welcome back with another episode of Alachua Home Pros. We're here today with our favorite realtor, Susan with Rabell Realty. How you doing today, Susan?
Good.
Good, good. So we're coming in towards the end of summer, the dog days. Typically, people have already found their home and they're trying to get into the home, get the school systems, all that stuff. What are some of the things that we should be doing, going over, looking at before we move into it?
Right. So most people that are moving into the area from out of town or out of state, the first thing I recommend is go ahead and do some research on the school zone that you want your kids to go to. So here in Alachua County, you can always go to the Alachua County School Board and you can check to see what school has got a better rating or what school has magnet programs that your kid would like to attend, things like that. And then we can find the area that is zoned for that school zone. If it's a magnet program, they usually can get an exemption. So you don't have to worry so much about the area. You can focus on an area that's closer to your work or more convenient to your activities. The first thing I suggest is, again, always just do your research. Make sure you get an area you want. The last thing you want to do is spend thousands of dollars moving into a home to only find out that it's completely across town and very inconvenient for you to get your kids to school.
Location. And I haven't been in the school system in a while, but I believe we have like a grading scale for our schools of how they perform now, right, in Florida?
We do.
Okay, so it's different.
Yeah, it's ABC, fail. I think for the most part, we have C's and above schools. I don't think we have any failing schools. But for the most part, all of our schools are very high rated.
Okay. So what happens if you don't get the home, but you see the school zone that you like? Now you're scrambling last second. Is it something?
Yeah, I recommend don't force the purchase. I know this is a terrible thing for a real estate agent to say, but don't buy something you're going to regret. Go ahead and just hold off. Get a short-term rental and stay there for 3 or 4 months until you can find the home that you really, really like.
Yeah.
I wouldn't force a purchase that's going to be probably the second or third biggest purchase of your life, other than your spouse, which is usually the most expensive purchase you'll make. With children are pretty expensive too. But your most expensive purchase, you don't rush into it. Take your time. So get a short-term rental, even if it's 6 months.
Yeah.
Live in Gainesville for 6 months or Alachua County for 6 months. Find what you really like, what works well for you, and then make that purchase.
Especially people coming out of town new to the area, that'd be a really good tip because you may find something that you like in another part that you didn't think of before you got
Exactly.
Here. That's great.
Well, not only that, but once you move here, you may find people that you bond with at work, and you're like, oh, I really wish we lived next to them or in their neighborhood. They have a great neighborhood. I didn't even know about it. It was so good. Yeah, and now you can start looking in that area.
That's true. As an electrician who moved here from out of town, it's crazy driving into the little pockets of Gainesville and Alachua County. They had these great, nice homes on these great streets, and just like I never did it too.
Exactly.
They're just covered with trees.
Yeah, we have a lot of little hidden gems.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so we got the house we wanted, right? And we're about to move in from out of town. Are there some things as we're moving in that we're looking forward to? Are there some things that we need to check as we're buying the house that maybe are very important in this time?
Yeah. So South Florida, just in general, we have terrible things called hurricanes. And you are in hurricane season when you're here in late summer. So make sure the house that you're purchasing is already ready to hold up to those storms. Make sure the roof is up to par. Make sure you have the right insurance. Once a named storm comes in, the insurances will shut down and you cannot purchase any kind of insurance. You can't even upgrade your insurance. So if there's a storm out there and it's Kevin or James or whatever it is, if it has a name on it, they will shut down insurance and you can't purchase. So make sure you have insurance and make sure you get insurance to cover damages in your home. If you have $100,000 home, yes, go ahead and get some cheaper insurance. But if your house is $300,000, don't get a $10,000 bond. It's just not going to cover the amount of damage that your house could possibly sustain.
Not with a hurricane.
Not with a hurricane. Yeah, 4 windows and some floors, and that 10,000 is gone. That didn't cover the roof.
And that's if you didn't get any water damage after the roof. I mean,
correct. Yeah. And that, out of your house for a couple of days, putting you up in a hotel, your contents are obviously going to be destroyed, things like that.
And one thing I've noticed is usually pay for what you get. So with a better insurance, you're going to get better customer service, usually faster response times.
Right.
So it usually pays a little bit better. I know I feel insurance is a scam overall, but
Yeah,
you usually get what you pay for.
you do get what you pay for with it. Yes. Again, do your research. Make sure you get a great company that stands behind and doesn't try to put up a fight and not pay a claim.
Yes, and the roof, because roofing contracting was so busy.
Right. Well, not only are they so busy, it's just too hot here for roofers to get up there. I mean, it's 90 to 100 degrees just sitting here right now in the middle of the morning.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being on the roof at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? It's 120 degrees up there. They will boil. I've seen roofers get off the roof and have burns on their arms from the roof, from the shingles being so hot. Yeah. So yeah, get the roof done in the winter and before you purchase, because it's not so loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people also to change their electrical panel, because you'll be without power for a day, and
Yeah.
the house
Know
heats
where the
up very
electrical
quickly.
panel is. That's the most important thing. You know how many people purchase a house and they don't know where it is? And or they put something heavy in front of it. Don't
Yeah.
put anything in front of your panel. If you want to hang a picture over top of it, okay, that's fine. But a lot of times it's in the garage.
Yeah.
And then people will put a big heavy like
So
shelf
all
or
the
something in
tension,
front of it,
it's always in the way.
and you can't find
Or it's in the corner, and they just stack piles of stuff in front
all the
of
stuff in front of it. Yes.
Yeah, because you will need access to that
Right.
during the storm.
And when you move in, I can't stress enough, find out where your water shut-off valve is. When you have your inspection, go through with your inspector and ask him, if something happens, how do I turn whatever it is off? You know, the water is, pipe busted. How do I get the water off? He can take you outside and show you how to turn that water off, and he will show you this little pole. It's pretty inexpensive. I don't even know what it's called. I call it a T-bar.
I think it's called a T-bar.
Could be.
What's like a T-bar?
Yeah, you're gonna want that, because the last thing you want to do is stick your hand in a hole that's covered in dirt, because again, we have beautiful creatures here, snakes, frogs, roaches, and you don't want to, on your worst day, stick your hand in there and find something not pleasant.
No, and it's usually very dirty in there.
It's
so
gross,
it's very
yeah.
nice to have it. Very handy.
Yeah, so get the T-bar, know how to shut it off, practice it, show your spouse how to do it in case you're not home.
Yeah. And then there are some things, since it's also the end of summer, people are going to be traveling, 4th of July, family barbecues, things like that. Are there some things that we should do when we leave our house, maybe unattended for long periods, so that we can emit, maybe not have as much damage if something happens while we're gone?
I would always let a neighbor know you're going to be out of town, or a family friend that can drive by and check on your house. A lot of times you'll leave town. I had a friend who left town. They had emergency sensors throughout their entire house that should have notified their cell phone if anything happened from moisture or fire, and it did not. So when they came back to a puddle of water. So have people come by and walk through the house and make sure, nothing has been damaged, broken into, things like that.
Yeah. You should always get to know your neighbors.
Always know your neighbors. Yeah,
So you know you have that backup.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and they can also pick up your newspaper, pick up your mail. That way your house does look occupied.
Yeah. And if it's long trip, I like to recommend as an electrician turning off your water heater. If it's a tank water heater, those tend to cycle while you're gone. Just keep the water hot while no one's there.
Correct.
So if you shut that down, helps with less power. You can also shut off the valve so you don't have to worry about water leaking out of it.
Yeah.
Little things like that.
I like timers that turn lights on,
Timers.
but don't set it for the same time every day. We've all watched Home Alone. We know that they're wise to that.
Well, with smart switches and smart homes nowadays, there's so many different ways you can go about it.
Right.
By doing it through your app on a phone, setting up crazy timers in away mode even.
Yeah.
So.
And notify anybody that's doing any kind of delivery. If you have a like Chewies for your dog or any kind of delivery, make sure you tell them a special place to put the box. That way you don't have 7 or 8 boxes stacked at your front door.
Yeah, depending on how long you've gone, if you have boxes stacked
Right.
up, people will know
Yeah.
nobody's been there for a while.
Because a lot of people have regular deliveries set up on their Amazon, and then you come home and you got 4 boxes of Tide, your toilet paper, all the other things that you've ordered through Amazon on your normal,
Is there anything else that we need to know about?
I would say the most important thing in Florida to do right now in summer is lawn care. The grass will go crazy. Bushes will go out of hand. So you get a good lawn company. A lot of times teenagers are out to school. Go ahead and hire that neighborhood kid to take care of your yard while you're out of town, things like that. And then you can also get them to your truck.
That's true. Also pay attention to potted plants, any still water this time of month. Mosquitoes
Mosquitoes,
are crazy.
Yeah, go ahead and hire a company. They can come out and they can spray your bushes, and that'll help alleviate some of the mosquitoes and bugs.
Yes. but it's Florida.
It's Florida. If you're moving here, go ahead and embrace the heat, embrace the humidity, and embrace the bugs. They are here, and you'll love them after a couple of years.
I don't know if you'll love them, but you will.
You won't notice it as much.
You'll be amused by them.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for today with Alachua Home Pros and Susan. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I hope this helped you guys out. Have a great day.